Toby and the Steam Bus. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. Thomas the Tank Engine arrived at Knapford Station after finishing his last job of the day. He was very surprised to see the Fat Controller finishing a conversation with Toby before he returned to his office. Toby was delighted. "You're in a good mood," said Thomas. "I've just learnt that my friend Courtney's coming to Sodor," said Toby. "Who's Courtney?" asked Thomas. "She's a steam bus," replied Toby. "She used to help me and Henrietta on our old tramway. She brought passengers during the summer season. She's now been preserved by enthusiasts, and she's bringing some here for a visit to the railway." "How wonderful," said Thomas. "I hope you two will get to catch up." "I hope so too," replied Toby. "It's been a long time." Toby then said goodbye to Thomas and headed back to his shed at Arsdale End to tell Henrietta the good news. Courtney arrived with her enthusiasts the next day. She was a very grand steam bus. Her front end was almost similar to Elizabeth, but instead of a tipper, she carried passengers. However, Courtney was not the same kind and caring steam bus that once worked with Toby and Henrietta on their old tramway. She was snobbish, rude, and since being preserved, she believed herself to be above everyone. Poor Bulgy suffered most when she first arrived, as she chuffed slowly down the road. "Get out of my way!" he scowled.
"You will wait,"
sniffed Courtney.
"I am what the people of Sodor have come to see."
"I wish you weren't," muttered Bulgy, as Courtney continued to drive slowly down the road, much to the annoyance of the very bad-tempered bus. Toby was resting in the siding at the big station when Courtney arrived. He was just about to greet her when...
"Oh,"
she sniffed.
"you are here."
"I'm surprised at you, Courtney," said Toby. "I thought you'd be happy to see me."
"That,"
she said pompously,
"was when we worked together on the tramway. Things are different, Toby. I have been preserved, and you are on a tiny toy railway with nothing but old, clapped-out pieces of machinery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to carry these enthusiasts across the island. Say hello to that henhouse coach of yours."
Toby was speechless as Courtney drove away. "There's nothing of the old Courtney left," he exclaimed. Although he was rather hurt, Toby couldn't help but wonder if Courtney was going to get herself into trouble. During her stay, Courtney did get herself into trouble. She drove down the road thinking she was the queen of it.
"Silly Toby,"
she grumbled.
"silly road vehicles. They know nothing of my superiority and the reasons that I'm here."
Trevor the traction engine was coming in the opposite direction with a cartload of hay. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and Trevor found himself being coated in steam. He coughed. "What was that for?" But Courtney didn't reply. Poor Trevor carried on down the road, clueless as to what had just happened. But the answer would soon come when Courtney started getting slower and slower. At the level crossing, Duck was waiting for the gates to open. He was then surprised at the sound of grinding and groaning up ahead. Courtney clanked into view. She was leaning to one side and was in constant pain.
"Make it stop!
She groaned.
Please, driver, I beg of you, stop!"
Her driver brought Courtney to a gentle stop and climbed down to examine the problem. Steam went everywhere as Duck looked on. "There's the problem," said her driver. "Your axle's bent." "No wonder he had a bang earlier."
I don't care what we had.
Courtney snapped.
Someone get help.
Duck's driver contacted the Sodor bus depot. They sent Bertie over at once to collect the enthusiasts and show them around the island for the rest of the day. The Fat Controller arrived on board Butch the breakdown vehicle, who was to tow Courtney back to the yard. He was very cross when he found out how rude Courtney had been to Toby, and thinking that she owned the roads. Courtney just looked sour-faced as Butch towed her away. That evening, Toby returned to Arsdale End. Thomas was dropping off some supplies. "Hello, Toby," whistled Thomas. "Did you see your friend today?" "I saw a steam bus," admitted Toby. "But it wasn't Courtney." "But I thought you said she was coming over," said Thomas. "No, I don't think so," replied Toby modestly. "If Courtney had come to Sodor, she would have been very kind and respectful. This bus was nothing like her at all. Must have been someone else. Good night, Thomas." Toby then puffed into his shed to get some rest. Thomas was very confused. But we know Toby was only teasing, don't we?